Hey, what's up? It's Marcus Milano from Rap Rejects, and right now I'm gonna show y'all how to mix rap vocals, stock plugins on Logic Pro X. Let's go. All right, so here we go with the untitled track. You feel me? Untitled, whatever. Save it how you want to, all that good stuff. Now I'm gonna go into depth on this, and I'm gonna try to do it as quick as possible because I know a lot of y'all have attention deficit out there. So anywho, I like to start by customizing the bar on the top. You do the drop down and you just go to custom. And then what it does is it takes you to, you know, your beats per minute, all that other good stuff, right? So the first thing that I like to do is whenever I bring the track in, I'm gonna bring the track in, and then let me go ahead and add some additional tracks here. All right, so audio one, say audio one is the beat. You're gonna turn it down to a -10. All right, once you get the beat down to -10, you're gonna, whenever you record, you're gonna press input and R to record. All right, now what you're gonna do is you're gonna make sure that your input for your vocals are going to be around -15 being the lowest to -10 being the highest. You're gonna bring everything out in the master. Whenever you put the beat on, before you even record, before you even do anything, what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna go into your audio effects and you're gonna wanna go to BPM counter, all right? So what BPM does in a nutshell is it's going to count how many beats per minute it is. And then whenever you play the track or play the beat, it's going to tell you right here what the beats per minute is. And then what you're going to do is you're going to change it to whatever BPM it is, right? So once you do that, you go ahead and exit out of it. You can also, you know, do no plugin. But yes, you want to change the beats per minute to the actual beat, because what you're wanting to do is you want to have it to where the whole entire session is synchronized with the beats per minute. So whenever you add delay effects, anything, it's synchronized with the beats per minute, so it doesn't sound out of place. All right, now let's go into the gist of preferences. Sorry, y'all, I'm not using a mouse, so this is ridiculous. All right, so you want the output device to be your audio box. You want your input device to be audio box. You want the buffer size to be 128 samples when you're recording, and you want it to be 512. You change it to 512 whenever you mix and master. All right. Now, a big thing that people don't look at as well is, let me customize the control bar so I can show y'all. What you want to do is you want a low latency mode whenever you're recording. So there's a low latency mode. I'm operating on a MacBook, but on the desktop it's going to show the logo for it. So there it is right there. All right, so that is whenever you record and you put the input on, you're actually going, like, you're not behind, there's no latency on your vocals. All right, so let's dive into it. Say this is the vocal. Let me press X. X brings up the whole entire mixer. All right. The first thing you want to do, like I said and stated before, is you're going to want to do a channel equalizer, right? So you're going to do a channel equalizer, and then it brings the channel equalizer up. Now, remember whenever I was talking about low pass filters, there's a low pass filter right there. All right. You're going to want to extend it out, and you're going to want it in the spectrum of, if you have a deep voice, I would do it at 86 Hertz. If you don't have such a deep voice, you can do 95. And then that's how you do it right there, right? So then you want to take out any bad frequencies. Usually bad frequencies lie within the low areas. Some are in the very highs, but what you want to do is you want to bring it up, pinch it, sweep when you play your vocals, and whatever sounds bad to you, you're going to turn down. And I usually do it around -3. So say you get done doing that. The next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to do the compressor. So with that being said, we're going to do stock plugins only for Logic Pro X. Next tutorial, we're gonna be going over my favorite Waves plugins to mix. And then after that, we'll dive into the mastering part. All right, so you're gonna go into dynamics. You're gonna go into compressor. All right. When you go in there, my favorite, you could do platinum, you could do FET, or you could do it like a vintage FET, and they all have specific sounds. Threshold, you're gonna want at like, I would put it at a -3 to a -6, depending on how your vocal sounds. Ratio, I would have it at a 3.11 ratio. You could do the makeup, whatever. Auto gain, you can mess with that. I usually turn the auto gain off, but you can do 0 or you could do -12 as well, but I do the auto gain off. Don't turn the limiter on. I wouldn't turn the limiter on at all, because that's going to be used later on. The knee, it depends on the vocals. Then for the attack, you're going to want the attack like right in the middle. The attack would be the sweet spot. It would be like around 50. And then I usually, and this is for anybody's vocals, I usually go ahead and I turn the release all the way up. All right. But anywho, that's your compressor. Play with it, make it to where you're comfortable with it, to where you're satisfied with it, with your vocals. All right. Now we're going to go over and we're going to do another channel equalizer. And then this time we're going to bring up the good frequencies. So with the compressor being put on there, a lot of the lower frequencies are going to come back up. So what I usually like to do is I usually like to put the low pass filter within the same spot, tighten it up, and then it takes all the noise room and all that other stuff out. Now what you're going to want to do is boost up the good frequencies. Good frequencies, you're going to want to and then what you're going to do is you're going to sweep the good ones are in between 8 hertz to 5 hertz. Once you find that sweet spot, you're going to bring it down, bring it out, however, and then the other one is going to be roughly around 1000. So take it, sweep it, whatever, and whatever you find is good is good. And then what I like to do too is I like to do the lows. I like to do the 125 range, and then you can bring it up within the 125 range. And then I like to do it around the 250 range. And then that boosts, but be careful with it. Don't boost it up too much to where it overshadows your mids. All right. So yeah, that's pretty much in a nutshell that. It's not going to look like this because you're going to be doing your own thing, but I'm just giving you an example. That right there is like the most basic vocal chain. All right. So then after you do that, if you want to add delay effects, you can add delay effects. I would go with like a stereo delay. And then whenever you put the stereo delay, you can mess with it, mess with the output mix and all that stuff. What kind of, steps that it takes as far as the delay is. And then you're going to want to add a reverb. My favorite reverb within everything, and I use the reverb in the same manner as if I was using Wave plugins, would be Reverb and Space Designer. And then when you go to Space Designer, I would like to show you right here. You go to medium spaces, you go to plate reverbs, and then you go to blue plate, and then you mess with it the way you want to mess with it. I usually like to turn on the actual beat, put it to the max, and then put it down here. The sweet spot to me for like rap vocals would be roughly around -28 to -32 decibels. But it also depends on the feel of the song. Now, that right here would be your main vocal chain right here, right? So how you would save it raw is you would go to bounce. Then you want it to be MP3. You want the bit rate mono to be 128. Your bit rate stereo at 320. You want the quality at the highest with the best encoding. Stereo mode normal. and then mode offline so it buffers faster. That's really it. That's really it. And then do not turn normalize on. It's gonna mess up everything and it's gonna make your track quiet. So to save the raw file, you're gonna go to bounce and you're gonna go to project or section. Next video, we will be going over Wave plugins and my go-to Logic Pro X stock plugins mixed with Wave plugins, because I do both. All right. And then after that, I'm going to show you a basic mastering step onto master, because what people need to realize is mixing and mastering is not the same. Mixing is whenever you're mixing the vocals. Mastering is whenever you mix the entire track. I'm talking about beat with vocals. That's what mastering is. And then you're going to be doing that within the stereo output. That's where you master. So you mix vocals in here, you master in the stereo output. Next video as well, I'm going to show you buses. It'll be a little bit longer of a video, y'all. So I'm going to actually pull up a real session, and then I'm going to give you a whole breakdown of how I mix and master and bus, all that on the next video. So y'all stay tuned. This is Marcus Milano from Rap Rejects. I'm out.